Hello, my lovely spectators. Diddy here. Welcome to my studio. Okay, where can I see myself? The little hands. All right. So, we are doing Twinches Summer 2026. So, I've come together with myself and provided to you guys, if you want, the whole setup to do what I'm going to be doing for one a day on Twinches. I know people have Twinche Tuesdays and they do it on Thursdays, and I got into it, but I didn't get into it there. I got into it the idea of like, how can I get this done? And I made myself a book which has a bunch of different bases, and I want to do 8 Twinches in a setting. And so it just grew. It grew from there. So I have these 4 decks that I have. They're in my coffee shop. They're free. And I want to give myself some direction so that I can make this a little quicker and we're not meandering all over the place. So initially I had 61 days, 60 days, 61 because I used the back. There are 62 days between July and August. So therefore I will be doing, I guess, a show and tell at the end of the whole book to save off on day 62. But today we're going to do this for the first time, and hopefully, you know, this works out well. So what I devised, and I will link the video playlist. At the end of the video, you'll see the playlist, and I think we can link it in the description. I don't know. So that instead of just me picking a random number and trying to come up with something, my brain started working overdrive. And so the summary of it is that I've got 4 different cards that are going to help me out. The destination is the base, the detail is what's the focal image, the splash are the colors I need to use, and shine, which is what are the techniques I need to incorporate. Let's see if this works out. Now for me, I don't have a destination in terms of the things that are in here. So for example, if I pick a card and well, I'm on the other side because there's 72 cards, so there's way more than 62 days. So an envelope flap would have to be what I would use as the base, right? So what I did was I just had I had my numbers 1 to 61 added to different cards in here. So I'm not looking at me. I'm not looking at the number. I'm not looking at this grid vellum. I'm looking at the number 41 because my book was already set up before this whole rigmarole comes to play. So I'm going to be doing grid vellum. Then my detail, I'm just going to pull from anywhere, doesn't matter, is going to be that I need to I need to incorporate a watering can. So now this is the perfect thing. Do I have a watering can? No. So I should have pulled before the things, because I just went with ChatGPT and a bird. I have to incorporate a bird. Let's make the first one easy. And then the color I would have to incorporate is going to be, just trying to get one out of here instead of just taking it from the front. I need anywhere to get my finger in here. All right, let's just do it like this. So my splash is going to be, I have to use red and gold. And then my shine, or my technique, okay. And why are these words? Because DDS Studios, so DDS Studios. My shine is going to be, I have to ink the edges. Oh, perfect. This is a nice, easy one for the first time. We're not going to be having to go, crazy. So let's look at this. We need to go to page. We have to use a bird, we must incorporate red and gold, and we have to ink the edges, okay? Grid vellum is not what I'm using. I'm using whatever's on page 41. So let's put my little signage to the side, and we're going to take a look at where 41 is. 39, 41. Oh, index cards. Okay, perfect. So I am just going to pull them off my little book, because, you know, this book is going to become Gator. And that's okay with me, but I've already cut all my Twinche size down, so we're gonna need to do everything, whatever's on here, okay, in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna make it super simple, just introducing the concept, right? So I have my little cards here. We have to ink the edges, so thankfully my little ink pads are right here. And let's take out my little blenders. Come on, okay. And let's pick this is the ones that go with that. Where is this one? This is espresso. We'll do espresso. Ground espresso. So we're gonna have to do that. We need birds. So I need to get my birdies out of wherever they are. and we have to get some red and some gold. Okay, so give me a moment. I'm gonna put you on hold. I'm gonna gather up some more supplies. Okay, so I got some stuff. So I laid out my guys. I have some of these little birdies that I had not fussy cut, I had cut out from I forgot where. So I have a bunch of those that I'm gonna be able to figure out where I'm gonna put them. I have some red metallic paint that I was thinking to use. Just right, like a dry brush across the thing, adding to the background. So that's part of the red and the gold. The inking of the edges is the shine, so I probably will still ink with some of that grunge to match the grunge that these are already inked. And then for funsies, I just decided to pull some sparkles, and they have these little gold ones that I want to add. And I just need to incorporate another layer of something, and I'm not quite sure what right now. So let's just get started on doing what we can do. Because then I think I'm going to go and grab some cheesecloth or something like that. So the inking of the edges, I'm going to do that after the fact. We'll figure out these guys. So what I want to do is I want to play with this. Let's put a little bit on the mat here. Not a lot. Doesn't need to be a lot. This guy's a little bit dry. Oh, you know what? I think maybe let's try the splattering. Yes, yes, yes. So where's my water? My water is somewhere over here. No, that's not water. That's alcohol. Here's water. Jesus, where's my splatter box? You know how quickly I came back with a plan, and now already I'm changing the plan. Like, hello, can we not do that? Because you know, that's too much. Alright. My splatter box is here. Hold up a second. We will put these guys in the splatter box. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna put these in the splatter box, and then I'm gonna add water to this little dollop, this little thing here. So I will have the gold and the red be little splotches, but one will be paint and one will be the gems, and so we'll go from there. So let me bring this over. No, it's weird. It's awkward. And I bring this down. So I don't know if you could still see this. Yeah. So I like to water it down a good amount so that it is very fluid, because I don't want to fight with trying to make splashes. So, I mean, a lot of people may say this is good enough. I kind of like a little bit more to get it going and stuff. So yeah, there we go. Oh no, it's going towards the box. So, and then you should be able to just hit your finger very lightly and get a nice amount of splatters, because you're not fighting with the thickness of the paint, if that makes sense. So this is gonna have to dry, so we're gonna go and cut some cheesecloth. I'm losing some of my liquid here. I'm going to be generous because I do want the red to be present, and I'm going to be putting a focal of a bird that is kind of big. Oh, I can't even think of the word. Okay, this latter one over here needs a little bit more. Okay. All right, we're going to leave that be. And so let me put this to the side and come right back. Okay, so these are more or less dry. As it was drying, I noticed it was like turning pink. Oh well. But I did hold in honesty to the truth of the, you know, whatever, that it was red. It was from red. It just didn't work out that way. So now let's ink the edges of this with the ground espresso. And so yeah, so this is you know, whatever. I'm not gonna, this is not about making it hard. This is about inspiration. This is about direction. I love a good challenge, but this is not even what this is. I'm not asking that this be a challenge per se. This is just a fun little activity with a little bit of direction, like I said. So sometimes if you have a stall in your mojo, if you're given some prompts, that could kind of help you to push through and maybe inspire that mojo. So that's that. So yeah, so we're gonna do 8. Now they're all not gonna be identical. They could be identical from what I've seen of Twinches. They're usually like thematic, so like these are all going to be having birds on them. Of course, all the birds are different. Placement will be different. Placement of the cheesecloth will be different. They'll be very similar, and that's fine, right? Because you know, we're going to put them into the book. I'm going to have them to use as clusters in future journals and things of that nature. Yeah, my goal is not to have the Twinchies just being a Twinchy album. The album is just for over the summer. It started with that kind of a challenge of having all the Twinchies on you know, in a book, but then it's like, no, I'm not going to just sit there and keep them and save them and not use them. So I pulled out some cheesecloth. This was supposed to be dyed red. When I rinse it out, we have more pink. So we're just going to cut up a few pieces of cheesecloth to add behind as a layer. And so we're going to just do that real quick. Okay. There we go. No. Piece there, piece there. We'll mess around with it later after it's on there, and we'll figure out where it's gonna lay. Okay, there, and then a piece from here. Okay, right here. I'm gonna put this back in my stash. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick out which birdies are we gonna put. So I think I have more than 8 here, so let's do just this guy. Let's do this one here. Let's put that there. Okay. Okay, I started looking for the ones that didn't have a nest, because you know the cheesecloth kind of has that nesty kind of feel, so I think that's what happened there. Even though these have like the little flowers, they can still have a little bit of a nest vibe to them. So we have our 8 little birdies, and now we just need to attach everything. And I want to give it a little bit of a dimension, so I'm gonna get some pop dots here, or these are from the Dollar Tree. So, and my adhesive, what do I have here? All right, I got my Barely Art, so we can get to going. Okay, so what I think I want to do is try to place, so I'm looking at this, we have the line up here, right? And I think I'm going to place it where I see more of these the dots of the red. So I'm just gonna, oh come on, I'm just gonna add the cheesecloth towards the bottom. Really? Okay, now, jeez, he's being a pain in the butt today. So we're just gonna add some cheesecloth right there. And then on the back of this guy, I'm gonna add a little pop dot kind of situation. And then I'm going to place the birdie right about here. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna do that to all of them. I'm gonna look at the card, which way do I like the splatters to be. I think I'm gonna do it like this. Again, going like this. Now of course I could have used the other side of the index card. It probably would have been, you know, oh, it's plain, whatever, stuff like that. But you know, I don't mind the lines, giving a little bit more texture to what's happening in the picture. Okay, so go like this. There we go. So they're all going to be relatively the same. And like I said, that's fine. We're warming up to things right now. Okay. So I also don't want this to be like a super crazy long video, which yeah, I know can sometimes be the way with me. So you see me doing the cheesecloth. Let me fast forward from here. You don't have to see me doing all of them. So let's speed that up.
Tags and pockets, flips and folds, washi tape and stories told. Paint and stamps begin to play. We craft the stress and doubt away. Yo, sono aqui stacked on a 26. con papel, con glue, con style. No perfection, just expression. Got our pages of confession. Don't sit back and watch the show. My lovely spectators, let's create.
Okay, so the 8 guys have most of our stuff done. We've inked the edges, we have our red, we have our focal point of a bird. So now I want to add a few of these little gold things and then we'll be good. They have about two different sizes. I could also add some red. That wouldn't be harmful. So let's add a little gold on top of this flower so that we have a gold there. We'll put a gold over here on this flower so that we do the gold over here on the ones with the flowers. Let's do that. Okay, so we'll say that those technically are done because they have all elements of the DDSS on there. And so let's just add some gold over here. Take another little gold piece right here. We'll just put one over here. And then where else? I think I'm gonna try tucking one right there. Why not? And there is a third size, this size here, so I think I'm gonna put it right there. Okay, so there's that one. So the same for these guys. Only one because of the flowers, but these guys I think I'm gonna put the 3. So we're gonna grab a big one, we're gonna tuck a big one somewhere, we're gonna take a medium one, we're gonna place a medium one. Can't get it off the thing. Okay, that adhesive is not wanting to come off. Here's another medium one. Place a medium one there, and then a little one. Where's a little one? Hopefully I'm not gonna run out, but I don't know. Maybe medium one, a little small one there. Okay, and let's do another big one. Let's put it over here again. A small one by his feet over here, and then a medium one up here. Why not? Oh, I got 2 crows or whatever. I didn't even notice that. And another big one. Let's do the big one up here. A medium. No, that's a big one. Here's a medium. Medium one down here. And then a small one. No, did I run out of small ones? Oh no, this one right here. A small one over here. Okay. And did I run out of small ones for this guy? No. Hopefully I'm not blinding you. I apologize if that's the case. Oh no. Okay, well let's do what we have. We have this guy here. Tuck that back there. We've got this one here. I'll place it over here. And one more look. Any gold? Any more gold? No more gold. So I guess we'll just, for the sake of it, let's just add a little red one. There's a little difference, which I could have done on all of them, but hindsight is 20/20, right? Okay, so there we go. We have done my first set of Twinches. And they were, like we said, using this. I had to page 41, which was index cards. I had to ink the edges. I had to use red and gold. And my focal image was a bird. So, and I incorporated a little more things into a cheesecloth. That's fine. You can add what you want to the situation. And so now, we take our book. We take my book. And I go back to page 41. It's 41, 37. Skipped it too much. Here we go. I just got the sticky pieces on here. Oh no, now I know. See, first time run. Now I know, don't do that. Where is the sticky on this? Okay, now I go back and I pop them back into my book on page 41. And my little adventure today in my Twinchies summer has started. There you go. All nice. Boom. And that day is done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like and comment below. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you've been here when it, thank you so much for always showing that support. And I'll make it short and sweet and say thank you. And until next time, ciao, ciao. Bye.